Hi everyone, welcome to Belly Strong. This is your 30-minute full body workout for week 21 of pregnancy. All you'll need is a mat and a bit of water. And if you're enjoying the workout so far, hit the subscribe button so you know when our new videos are coming out. And we'll get started with a warm-up in standing. So feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. And our first move is a squat with a knee lift. As always, just warming up those legs before we really get into the tough stuff. As you lift that knee in front of you, squeeze the glute of that standing leg. Just one more each side. And then we're into some arm threads. So one arm over, one arm under as we bend from side to side. So this is warming up all of those abdominal muscles. You should feel a bit of a stretch on the side of that torso. One more each way before we turn to the side and you're into a lunge, switching from side to side. As you take that leg back, keep the pelvis slightly tucked under, so you'll also feel a little bit of stretch on the front of that back thigh. Squeeze the glutes as you come back up. One more on each side. And from here, we're into roll down. So chin to chest, round the spine, roll down to the mat, and we're pedaling our knees in that position. Alternately bend and straighten those knees, feeling a stretch through the calves and the hamstrings into the back for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll back up to standing. And we start again with a squat and a knee lift. So it's always good to do a little bit of a warm-up, some full body movements before you start to load your muscles. One more each way. And we're into side bends. Try not to lean forward or back as you're bending to the side. Really stretch that top arm for 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Step back into some lunges. Remembering to squeeze the glutes at the top. Side to side. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Roll down into that knee pedal. So let those hips twist with you as you alternately bend and straighten those knees. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round the spine to roll back up. And we'll move into a bit of balance work. So our first exercise is a leg lift. What you'll want to do is put that weight on one leg, push up and out of that standing leg. Arms come overhead and the movement is a lift and a tap. So you can have the knee slightly bent, or you can lift a straight leg. Lifting a straight leg is a little bit harder, but this is not only a good standing ab workout, but also working on those balance muscles of that standing hip. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straight onto the other side. Push out of that hip, flatten those ribs, and we lift. Lift. Your hands can be down here if having them overhead is a little bit too much of a challenge at this point. Use those abs to lift that leg up. 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Straight over to the other side into a side lift. So this time, knee comes up to elbow. As we work now those side abdominal muscles. If you want a bit of a balance challenge, then instead of tapping that toe down, you can hover that leg over the mat. Takes a little bit more control and a little bit more focus. 3 more. 2, 1. Other side. Knee to elbow. Sometimes it takes a few reps to settle into the movement. Keep your eyes focused on one spot. Let's do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. And from here we turn to the side, clasp your arms in front of you, tuck that pelvis under. You're going to step back into a lunge and twist towards your front leg, and we switch sides. Lunge, twist. So also working a bit of balance here, twist. Squeeze those glutes to give you some stability in this position. 4 more. 3, 2. Think about squeezing those abs. 1. Back to face the center. We start again with our forward leg lifts. Arms overhead, and we lift that leg and tap. Or lift that leg and hover it off the ground. Try not to let your shoulders come up by the ears. Pull them down the back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides. Push up and out of that standing hip. Lift. Find that one spot to focus on to help you balance. Squeeze or use those lower abs to lift that leg for 3 more. 2, 1. Other side, side lift as knee comes to elbow. As you extend that knee, you can reach over for a little bit more of a challenge. Something else that takes a little bit more control, as you can see with me struggling. 4 more this side. 3, 2, 1. Other side, lengthen that top arm. Squeeze. So you should feel the bottom leg working to stabilize you here. Breathe, use your exhale as that knee comes up. 5, 4, 3, 2, lose your balance, get it back. Last one. And into our lunges. So that right there was my inherent clumsiness starting to become more pronounced during pregnancy. And that's why it's good to keep doing these sorts of exercises to combat that clumsiness that comes with the musculoskeletal changes, like our center of gravity moves forward, ligaments become loose, muscles become loose. So this is all helping to combat that. 1 more, each side. Last one. And move to the back of your mat as we move down onto the mat. Roll down, chin to chest. And come into an all fours position. So we're moving into bear pose. What I want you to do before you move is rock that pelvis back and forth. Settle into your middle in between neutral position. And if you have a look at my belly, which is starting to protrude a bit more because the baby's getting bigger, I want you to see how it lifts and flattens. So before we get into bear, we want to lift that up, flatten the ribs so there's tension in those abs. Toes come underneath you, and we lift up into bear. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Just going through that one more time. Neutral pelvis, flatten, pull up so that belly lifts. And then we lift those knees and hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you're either going to stay with that or we're going into a high bear, low bear. Starts the same, zip up through those tummy muscles. We lift the hips up, and high bear to low bear is hips come up, hold for 3, 2, 1. Knees come down, lower to hover, hold, 3, 2, 1. And we repeat, up, 3, 2, 1, down, 3, 2, 1. Keep going, making sure that belly is lifted throughout. Otherwise, you're sticking with what we did in the beginning with a low bear and then release, knees onto the mat. Last one. And Relax, sit back into child's pose for a couple of seconds. Breathe. Before you come back to an all fours position. And now we're going into an opposite arm and leg lift. So we start the same way, middle or neutral pelvic position. We draw up through that belly, and this time opposite arm and leg comes out. That same leg and arm is going to come in and then back out. So we're staying on the same side. As the arm and leg go out, focus on not letting the lower back arch. 3 more. 2, 1, and down. Other side. Draw up through that belly, opposite arm and leg. Use your breath as you go through these movements. Squeeze the glute as that leg lifts. 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll out those shoulders just a little bit now that we know what to do. We'll go through that one more time. High bear to low bear into our Superman or opposite arm and leg lift. Neutral position. Flatten those ribs. Draw that belly up and in. Toes come under. And we go high bear. Hold 3, 2, 1. Come down. 3, 2, 1. Up. 2, 3. Down. 2, 3. Push out of those shoulders. Try not to let the belly drop. Four more to go. 3, 2, 1. Knees on the ground. Push up out of those shoulders. Lift that belly straight into an opposite arm and leg lift. Bring it in. Take it back out. Make sure both hips are still facing the mat. Four more. 3, 2, 1. Other side. Squeeze the glute at the top. All of this is slow and controlled. 4 more. 3, 2, 1, and release. We're going to take the pressure off of those wrists for a bit and come down onto our elbows. So elbows down, hips are still up in the air. Draw up through that belly. And the movement is a leg lift. So we keep that knee bent at 90. We tap down to the mat and squeeze back up. Down and up. Try to make sure you're not shifting over too much towards the leg that is still on the mat. Keep the weight even on both elbows. Squeezing the glute at the top. Keep that lower back in a neutral position. Try not to let it arch. 2 more. 1. You're going to hold that last one and just pulse. So imagine trying to drive the sole of that foot towards the ceiling. Small pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. We then straighten the knee and bend it, while we try not to let that hip drop. Have a look down at your abs or your belly. Try to make sure it's not sinking down to the mat. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that knee down. Sit back into child's pose. Breathe. Elbows down, other side, same thing. Both hips facing the mat. Lift that other leg to the ceiling. Tap that knee and lift. Remember those abs. Flatten, keep the tension in that abdominal area. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep it up there, pulse. Drive that heel to the ceiling. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up there. Extend and bend. Straighten and bend. Keep it going. Try not to let that knee drop. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sit back onto those haunches. Stretch forwards. So glutes should have worked a little bit in that position. You're now going to shift over into a sitting position. Hands are going to come behind you with fingers facing outwards or back. The movement here is a hip lift to the ceiling. One leg is going to cross over the other, and we're going to tap down to the mat and lift back up. So now we're working the glutes again, as we did in the exercise just before this, but in a slightly different position. You should also feel a stretch in the opposite glute as you lift the hips up. 3, 2, 1. Switch. Hips down to the mat, squeeze up. Down and up. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both hips down. Keep the hips lifted as we now march those legs. So we lift one as we try not to let the other hip drop to the mat. Lift. A bit of tension in those abs as you lift knee up. Lift. Four more. 3, 2, 1. Hips down. Just let those knees fall out as you lean forward into a bit of a hip opener stretch. Keep the back straight and chest open. We're going to repeat that one time through, or one more time through. 8 single leg lifts on each side into 8 marches. Push out of those shoulders, lift the hips up, cross one leg over, and down, squeeze up. Just 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch over, down and up. Four more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the hips up. We march for 8. 8, 7. Try not to let those hips shift. 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Hips down. Let them fall open as you lean forwards. Breathe. Our final exercise for this workout is roll downs in a sitting position. But this time, what we're going to do is let the knees fall out. Hands are going to come across the stomach to pull in, giving a little bit more support to the abs. As the belly starts to get bigger, we want to try to prevent them from splitting too far apart. And this adds a bit of extra support. Arms across, tuck that pelvis in. And what we're trying to do is round that spine, going down as far as we can control, holding for 3 seconds, and coming up. And again, tuck. You should feel a bit of tension underneath the fingers as you feel those abs working. And up. Tuck that pelvis, round. Hold. 3, 2, 1. If this is really difficult, you can do it from here, with a bit of support through the thighs, or we stay here. 3 more. And up. 2. Last one. And up. Let's do a bit of stretching before we finish off for today. Bring one leg forward, take the other leg back, and you're going to reach over to one side, stretching out that torso. Come back over to reach the other way. So this is a really nice mobilizer, both the spine and the hips. Take that back leg, bring it forward, over and across, sit up nice and tall as you twist towards that leg. Stretch out those glutes, we've given them a workout today. Repeat on the other side. Up and over. And then the other way. Bring that back leg over and across. Twist. Cross those legs. Bring your hands behind you, push that chest out and open. And as you breathe, inhale deeply and feel that stretch increase. And in and out. One more breath here, in and out. And just take that neck down to one side till you feel a stretch, and then we'll roll over to the other side. And then roll back. Back to center. Take those legs behind you, roll back up to standing. Coming up slowly, head is the last thing to come up. That is our workout for today. Well done, guys. Check out some of our other workouts, which will be out later this week, and we'll see you next time on Belly Strong.